As the new face of Belfast begins to rise on the skyline, one of the men who has played a major role in this regeneration through his structural steelwork company starts the Stena Sea Link Ulster Rally as a firm favourite. Bertie Fisher comes to the Ulster as a 2-times winner, and he is on a roll this year with victories already on the Circuit of Ireland and Donegal rallies. Although he is not admitting it, these successes are making him a definite challenger to Frank Maher for the 1995 Dunlop Tarmac Championship. Stephen Finlay is his main rival in the Malcolm Wilson Motorsport Escort Cosworth, but the Ballygawley driver lacks rally miles this year. Frank Maher comes north with 2 wins already and a 24-point advantage over his rival. But there are other new faces to contend with on the Ulster, particularly amongst the Formula 2 invasion, which has come to contest the British Championship.
I just hope for a finish. The competition is so strong this year, and the roads are as demanding as ever. So it's going to be, an interesting rally to say the least.
We had already a rally with no points, and for the championship they take 4 results out of 5 rallies. So we must go to the finish either. So I'm looking for a combination of going to the end, and of course the highest position possible in our category, which is difficult to mix, but we will try anyway.
Alistair, what are your prospects in the Ulster Rally?
At the moment I think they're pretty good. We had a good test in Donegal. The car went very well. There's a few more things we've got on it to try, so I'm feeling pretty confident.
I think it's possible to win it, at least the Formula 2 category. There are a lot of competitors here, top level competitors in Formula 2, and it's going to be difficult, but we're going to give it 100%.
Well done. Prospects for the Ulster Rally?
I think it's going to be a tough, hard event, and it's going to be very closely fought, and plenty of fireworks involved.
Yeah, we've had a good reconnaissance. It's going to be as difficult as ever, it always is. The first day maybe not so much, but certainly the second day is more bumps and more jumps, so yeah, difficult.
Well, we did Donegal, which was the first time the car's been used on tarmac, and we did it for testing reasons, for information. We gained a lot of information there, and we've been away and used that in 4 days of tarmac testing. So we're really looking forward to a good result here. We haven't done so well up to now in the championship, so I think this is the one.
Je pense que ça va être très difficile, mais bon, c'est vrai que c'est mon terrain, l'asphalte je connais bien, mais il va falloir gérer la première position au classement, donc il va falloir rouler très vite mais en faisant attention.
Très difficile, très vite. I think we perfectly understand that.
Appropriately on this Northern Ireland Tourist Sport supported event, the first stage is close to the picturesque village of Hillsborough, 12 miles west of Belfast. Yes, Hillsborough's in bloom, and Bertie Fisher is blooming quick, 11 seconds faster than his championship rival. But that's not the whole story. Bertie, in fact, is having a major panic, as his Impreza has lost 10 seconds with gear selection problems. Frank Maher, on the other hand, is very happy with the new 7-speed gearbox in his Lombard and Ulster Escort. And here's a sensation. Alain Oriel is third fastest in a Formula 2 car. He catches Martin Rowe on the stage. The Peugeot has a broken drive shaft. Is it going to be another disappointing weekend for the talented Manxman? Stephen Finlay equals Oriel's time with a cautious start. It's not easy to step from a road car into one of these monsters after a 3-month layoff. Liam O'Callaghan is back on the tarmac trail and third fastest on the opening stage, along with Oriel and Findlay. 1 second behind them comes another former Ulster 2 Ford, Gwyndath Evans. And here's David Greer's Group A Escort Cosworth. Two Finns are experiencing their first tarmac surfaced event. Jarmo Cataleto in the works Vauxhall and Ari Markkanen in the third of the works Nissan Sunny entries. Mark Lovell can't be delighted with his number 27 seating. His Toyota is a bit of a mixture. It has a Group N engine with Group A running gear. And there's an additional hazard on stage 1.
Easy left, 70, oil from here. Fast left over brow, keep in 50.
Tractor diesel
right.
has been spilled on the road, but the organisers have warned the competitors and they've coned off the worst of it.
Stage 2 south of Tandragee, and the heavens have opened. There's a deluge at this end of the test that the competitors are not aware of at the start, and 90% of them are caught out on slick tyres. Stephen Findlay now technically leads, as Fisher has incurred a 10-second penalty for leaving service a minute late, after a lightning gearbox repair by the Sydney Meek men. Four-wheel drive is a distinct advantage in these conditions, and for once this ludicrous FIA seeding, which requires Formula 2 cars to run in front of Group A cars, is in Findlay and Fisher's favour. Fisher sets his second fastest time on the event. And it has to be said that the Ballon and Ballard driver has never conducted a car in better style. David Greer moves up to third in the carried-off forklift escort. And Di Llewellyn is one of the few on intermediates. He's the fastest Formula 2 car, along with Shell Scholarship driver Jock Armstrong. But there are others not so fortunate. Gregoire de Mervis from Belgium, who is a former Group N world champion, passes our midway camera point intact. It's a different story by the end of the stage. Not a pretty sight. But amazingly, the Shell Nissan is still driving relatively normally. This is Cathaletho at midpoint. Finns are supposed to be good on the slippery stuff. Did I speak too soon? Hugh McBride captures this enormous accident. Ah well, Moikkanen is still there to uphold finish honour. Wrong, because inside the Doyle Brothers NIIB Honda we're about to come across a three-wheeled Nissan, and Ari isn't going to go any further. But amazingly, Jarmo has extracted the Astra from the ditch. Mark Lovell is flying on stage 2. It's an opportunity to make up for some of those frustrations during the season. But as co-driver Duncan McMath is about to discover, it's a risky business in these conditions.
20, brow 30, medium left, keep in.
They get away with that one, but in fact set fourth fastest time on this stage. Jarmo limps off the stage to no avail. The Astra hardly has a wheel pointing in the right direction, and by the end of stage 2, Finland no longer has a representative in the Stena Sea-Link Ulster Rally. But the drama isn't over yet. Dunlop Tarmac Championship leader passes our first camera intact. Then just a few miles further on, Hugh McBride gets the biggest story of the event. This time there's not so much damage, but it takes Frank Maher some time to get out of the field, and he drops right out of the top 10. The front tracking is out of line, but it can easily be repaired, but it's a major setback for the Tipperary Drivers' Championship hopes. Really, the only good news from Stage 2 is that Martin Rowe is on the road again, and he sets the third fastest Formula 2 time. His Ulster Rally, however, will be short-lived.
Moving closer to Newry now, and Andrew Nesbitt shortcuts his way up to third place. Followed by the similar Toyota driven by Liam O'Callaghan. Liam only trails the Northerner by 2 seconds. Kenny McKinstry is really mixing it amongst the works drivers. He's third in the Formula 2 class behind Llewellyn and Evans. But Maher's problems are further compounded by a puncture here on stage 3. By Newry Service, Fisher leads Finlay by 28 seconds, but the big job in service is being undertaken by the Nissan mechanics.
We couldn't stop the car, so we decided to go in through a fence in a field. But with the back of the car, I hit the post of the fence, and then the car went on its roof and back to the wheels, and we start directly. So we lose about altogether 1 minute, which is not so much. But we have to fix the windscreen was broken, and then the steering needs some more adjusting and all that, so we lose maybe 2.5 minutes altogether.
Well, we got a puncture on the last stage and took everything off it on the right hand side, the wing, the whole lot. But we had a slight excursion on the second stage with the water, but only lost 2 minutes into a field and out of a field, but no major damage done. We lost more time with the puncture there on the last stage, so we're down about 3 minutes now at the moment.
There's little change on the 3 stages that lead us back to Belfast. Bertie Fisher continues to dominate with 3 more fastest times, building an overnight advantage of 42 seconds. Johnny Milner is having to hurry as Stephen Finlay is closing in on him on stage 4. Stephen is Fisher's constant shadow, but he's always at least 4 seconds a stage behind. He catches the Honda further down the stage. We're just not seeing the normal spark of genius from the Ballygawley driver today. Finlay just doesn't seem to be making any impression on the Subaru rival at present. Andrew Nesbitt has faced and beaten any ghosts he might have had lingering from his enormous Lurgan Park accident, but he's 1.5 minutes behind Fisher in the Philip White Tyres Toyota. And just 3 seconds behind him comes the Ulster Rally novice Liam O'Callaghan, who's having an excellent run in the SO Ultron GT4. But the Toyota definitely seems to be having problems with the handbrake. Davy Greer will return to Belfast in 5th place, but sadly he and Michael Reid will not restart due to Davy having a severe back problem.
The Group N or showroom category is being dominated by Trevor Cather's Subaru Impreza. The Dunlop Championship Group N leader is 50 seconds clear of the British Championship Group N leader, Philip Young, after 6 stages. And both, incidentally, are from Northern Ireland. Jeff Smith is more spectacular than both of them. But as we've seen in the past, it's not always the quickest way in Group N. Jeffrey Stewart, in another of the popular Subaru Imprezas, is next up in Group N. And then it's the Doyle brothers, who yet again are doing a giant-killing performance in their Honda Civic.
Long two left over crest into a dip into a one right.
But not everything goes to plan for the Guildford pair, as we discover on stage 5.
Right over small crest, turn square right. Turn square right. 100. Long crest continues.
However, overnight they have a comfortable lead of over a minute in their class, and they're also in 5th place overall in Group N. And it's nice to see Bertie Fisher's sponsor Kieran McAnellen back out on the stages. And what's more, he's 4 seconds up on the great Roger Clark.
And then we have the Formula 2 flyers. Kenny McKinstry, fastest on this stage, is 6 seconds behind the similar car driven by Gwyndaf Evans. But maybe it's not just quite the same, as Kenny's very unhappy about the power output in his Gordon Spooner prepared car. Listen to the engine notes and compare for yourselves. Gwyndaf has 2 fastest Formula 2 times today, but only 34 seconds separate the top 5 in this highly competitive category. Llewellyn is still benefiting from that correct tyre choice on stage 2, where he gained a 12-second advantage over his nearest Formula 2 rival. But Alistair McRae is not showing his Donegal form today. He feels that the Nissan is slightly down on par. But there's nothing they can teach this superstar, the former French champion Alain Orial. Some people think he's set the Renault suspension settings just too hard for the bumpy Ulster tarmac. But give him a smooth stage, and he's right up there. It's a superb display from the Frenchman. At last we're seeing speed and reliability from the Formula 2 Volkswagen entry. It certainly needs to be tough in Dom Buckley's hands. Despite clutch problems, the Scot is producing some very fast times. Fellow Scot Robbie Head with Ulster co-driver Terry Harriman isn't having such a happy rally. Unfortunately, he's not currently figuring in the top 10. But the third of the Scottish clan members, Jock Armstrong, in the Shell Scholarship Clubman Spec Nissan, is very impressive. Mark Lovell in the mobile-back Toyota has had 2 top 10 times, but his good run comes to an end on stage 6.
30 left maybe, 20 right maybe, into long fast left. Then caution 100, brake easy right, tightens to right, and brow turn 90 left. Oh shit.
They eventually get the car out of that ditch and back to Belfast at high speed, but too much time has been lost. So the end of day 1, 6 stages down, 11 still to go, and Bertie has a nice advantage. Birdie, 42-second lead, the end of the first day. That's pretty satisfactory.
Yeah, it is, but you know, tomorrow's a long day, and obviously we're moving down into Stephen's home territory, so you know, it'll probably be take it all, you know.
Alistair McRae has been the early morning sensation, equalling Fisher's time on the first stage and giving his nearest Formula 2 rival an 11-second surprise early morning call. Fisher knows that if a counter-attack is going to come from Finlay, it will come here in the Clogher Valley. And right enough, Stephen posts his first fastest time on stage 9. You can see he's been trying. Look at that missing tail light. The Toyota twins, Andrew Nesbitt and Liam O'Callaghan, maintain positions in 3rd and 4th places. Andrew was quicker on stage 7, and Liam, seen here, replies by taking 5 seconds out of the Armagh driver on stage 9. The forward fight at the top of Formula 2 continues, with Gwyndraff Evans maintaining his 6-second advantage over Kenny McKinstry. But Alistair McRae is now up into 3rd place in the category and closing fast. Bertie Fisher and Rory Kennedy pull into Auchnatroy for breakfast. It's still only 6:45 in the morning, and they have tales of a lucky escape.
Steady luck shining there, Plum. You know, you don't get away with many of those.
So what'd you do, clip a rock or something?
Yeah, we were, obviously the roads are a bit damp and slippery out there, and you know, you're always trying to hug the inside of the corner, and we just, on a very fast bend, we're obviously split a millimetre too close, and just caught the rim and a stone that's been in the grass, you know.
All too soon for Sam, it's back to the stages again. Alistair's had a new gearbox fitted to the Nissan, and he will continue to charge up the field.
After a shower in his motorhome, Bertie puts any thoughts that Stephen might have had a victory into the bin when he takes a further 20 seconds over the next 3 stages. Stephen's counter-attack in his homeland simply doesn't come. First and second places on the Ulster Rally seem decided, even with 6 stages still to come. Attention now switches to Formula 2, and by the end of this stage, McRae has taken the lead in his 2-wheel drive 2-litre category. The Nissan mechanics discovered a faulty coil lead, and Alistair reckons this has made a big difference. Gwyndraff, trying as he is, can't reply to the Nissan's newfound speed. And Kenny McKinstry is in a similar plight. In fact, the Banbridge driver is dropping back from his Ford teammate as he frustratingly battles on with his down-on-power engine. Kenny can only watch as Oriel's Renault hauls him in stage by stage. Alain is magic to watch as he uses a technique to get the times, a technique which frequently employs the handbrake. Vauxhall, so long the front runner in this category, simply do not now have the pace, and further development is unlikely as they will withdraw in 1996. But Volkswagen have been much more on the pace this weekend, thanks to Buckley's spectacular efforts. Robbie Head is way off the pace as he crawls through stage 13, stuck in second gear. He'll shortly retire, and Mark Lawn catches him here in the stage outside Fintona. Sadly, the Doyles are also heading for trouble, bringing to an end their excellent run.
And the caution mud, 2 right, 2 left over bad mud, 170.
The little Honda has taken a lot of punishment, and north of Ballygolly, it cries enough.
And the jump.
A ball joint has broken, and that's the end of the road for them. But it's not as dramatic an exit as experienced by some others. On the same stage, Matthew Clark's Subaru goes out of control over the yumps. Just watch Lindsay Bronte's footage again in slow motion. Fortunately, both Matthew and Rob Dyson are okay. But there's more. Right. Simon Furness captures Daniel Harper's even more spectacular exit. Again, Daniel and co-driver Les Rager step out unscathed.
And so to the big winners of the weekend. Trevor Cathers and Gordon Noble dominate Group N throughout the weekend and win the category by 5 minutes. Kenny McKinstry and Robbie Philpott in the Kingdom Cars RS2000 frustratedly finally slipped to 8th place overall. But they have the consolation of being 4th in Formula 2 amongst the works entries. Alan Oriel and Jack Boyer impressed everyone on their way to 7th place. And Andrew Nesbitt and Brian Murphy also slipped down in the final stages to 6th place after a minor off. Wyndham Evans and Howard Davis had to be content with 2nd in Formula 2 and 5th overall after leading the category for so long, but it was a magnificent drive. And Alistair McRae and David Senior came from behind to win Formula 2 and go into the lead in the British Championship. Liam O'Callaghan and James O'Brien had an excellent Ulster Rally, in 3rd place overall. And Stephen Finlay and Philip Mills remained in 2nd place virtually throughout the event, a competent if not outstanding performance. But what about Bertie Fisher and Rory Kennedy? Have they ever been better? They were fastest in the Toughmac Subaru on all but one of the stages on their way to Bertie's 3rd Ulster victory. And so it's back to Donegal Place in Belfast, 26 very hard hours later. Bertie Fisher and Rory Kennedy return to Belfast in triumph to win the Stena Sea-Link Ulster Rally. And the big question now is, with 3 maximum scores in the Dunlop Tarmac Championship, will he go on for his 4th title?
Like good wine, Fisher and Kennedy just keep on getting better and better. It's their 3rd Ulster win and their 3rd win of the season. And for their rivals in the championship, things are starting to look ominous. Bertie moves up the championship leaderboard and is now just 14 points behind Frank Marr.
Yeah, we've had a super event, Plum. You know, I suppose it's a copy book performance, you could say. You know, we've been quickest on 15 out of 16 stages run, or equal quickest, and you know, we started off, I thought it was going to be another performance of last year. Don't get past the first stage when we had that gear selection problem and lost all the gears. But you know, the boys did a very good job in the service area.
You've won the Ulster 3 times. You've been 3-time Dunlop Tarmac champion. You're now on a maximum score for 3 events in that championship. Surely you must go for it for the 4th time now.
Yeah, well, obviously there's a big temptation there to go for it, certainly. So we'll have to sit down and think very carefully after this event what we're going to do, because you know, we're running obviously on basically with a budget that isn't for a full season's rallying, and we've probably got to go and find some more money to top up the budget, and we'll see what we'll do then, whether we go to the Manx or Cork or whatever.